Alright, hello everybody, welcome to Reactions to Stress Part B. So our objectives and standards to understand different reactions to stress and to recognize the factors that are related to the influence of stress. Take a moment there to read the standards if you would, please. Desired result. What factors are related to the influence of stress? We're going to talk about some different things that might cause stress or bring on stress, which we kind of talked about a little bit in past classes, but we're going to talk about some other factors that play into stress as well today. Vocabulary. We have one word here, social support. Social support is information that makes a person believe they are loved and cared about and that they are a part of a network of communication. This could be your family, your friends, your co-workers, your neighbors, maybe a club or a religious group you're a part of, or something like that. Something that makes, that you can go talk to people, and when you talk to them, you know that they're listening to you and that they're understanding you and supporting you and things like that. That's social support. So reactions to stress, behavioral. In addition to cognitive and emotional reactions, we can also have behavioral reactions to stress. Sometimes people can have nervous habits such as twitching or trembling. Maybe they bite their fingernails when they're nervous or they're anxious. Some people might take up some more harmful habits such as smoking or drinking to reduce their stress. So those are more harmful examples of that. And there are also times a person can lose interest in eating, bathing, or even grooming because they're so stressed or they're anxious or whatever the case may be. There are also severe cases where severe stress can cause depression and lead to drug or alcohol abuse or even suicide. Now, people who are suffering from stress may also result to aggression against others, violence. But sometimes behavior reactions can be more positive. So, they can be aggressive or violent sometimes, which is not really what we want to see. But people can have a more positive behavior plan, such as like maybe assertive. Maybe in a time of a tornado or an emergency, maybe there's a fire, somebody runs back into a building to rescue someone. That's stressful, but that stress that person is feeling at that time is a stress to help someone. It's not so much a stress of, something bad's going to happen to me. It's more of a stress of I need to help somebody, I need to help someone. So that could be a more assertive stress. And we can even draw an arrow here to people trembling and stuff like that. This guy looks like he's trembling, so that could be another behavioral reaction as well. Other times, people use escape as a behavioral reaction to stress, such as maybe you're riding the bus somewhere and you're late for work or a doctor's appointment or something like that, and there's traffic or the bus breaks down, so you get off the bus and you start walking to your destination. You can say, I can't deal with this stress anymore. That's an escape. Now, stress and physical reactions. We've previously discussed how stress I'm sorry, this should say can, not end. How stress can impact our physical health and make us ill, okay? Tension from stress can also result in headaches, muscle aches, and stomach pains. We can have prolonged stress health problems if we're stressed or overly anxious for a long period of time, such as difficulty breathing, insomnia. Insomnia is trouble sleeping or falling asleep. Irregular urinary and bowel complications like going to the bathroom and things like that. Sweating, and dry mouth, to list a few. Long periods of stress can have a huge negative impact on our physical health. They can also result in ulcers, heart disease, and other serious complications. And physical reactions to stress can happen to anyone at any time. A lot of times we say teenagers are very stressed, but it happens to adults, it happens to older people, it happens to younger kids. So physical reactions to stress can happen to anybody, whether you be at work or whether you're at school. Now, personality and the factors of stress. One thing that lays into the factors of stress is personality. So how a person handles stress can also depend upon their personality. So researchers believe that there are two types of people in terms of stress and personality. I've listed them over here. So we could have personality A, and this person is a person who really doesn't handle stress well, is always anxious or nervous. Maybe you know someone like that, is always seems very stressed or anxious or nervous about something. They struggle with daily daily tasks, like, if they're late to work or school, like completely throws their whole day and schedule off. Or they may face, serious health problems or conditions as a result of it. A type B personality is a person who is more generally relaxed, they're patient, and they don't become angry easily. Even if something is stressing them out, they kind of, go with the flow. So that's how personality can impact stress. There's also evidence that emotional expressiveness plays a role in stress. And emotional expressiveness is when people are able to express their emotions, such as anger or sadness. And if you're able to do that, people like that are less likely to develop such diseases, like as cancer and more serious diseases, because you're able to not keep those emotions or those feelings bottled up inside of you. So if you're able to release those emotions, it's a good thing. So stress and control. Today, it is viewed that physical disorders are more likely to occur when we do not have control over stressors. So lack of control over stress makes us have more physical disorders. People prefer to have known stress instead of unknown stress in their lives. Some examples of that could be, you have a test coming up on Friday or later that week or something like that, or PSSAs and Keystones are coming up, so you're prepared for that. Unknown stress would be like, you walk into class one day, or something like that, and your teacher says, okay, pop quiz. That's an example of unknown stress, and that could trigger someone. It's also believed that people prefer known noises over unknown noises. So, example, if you go to the playground with your brother or sister or a child or whoever, you expect to hear children playing, children laughing. You're expecting that. You're not expecting to hear, terrible, scary noises, hopefully. You're expecting to hear good noises, children playing, laughing, whatever. Or if you go to a restaurant, an unknown noise, which could scare people and stress them, might be dishes falling or somebody breaking a glass. That's an unknown noise. We're not expecting to hear dishes break or glasses break, so, that could set somebody off. That could stress them out. Excuse me. The support of others. So, a large amount of research has shown that social support also helps reduce stress. So again, when someone believes that they are loved and cared about and a part of a communication network that they can talk and share their feelings and beliefs, it's called social support. And this term was coined by Sidney Cobb in 1976, or around 1976. Now, it has been documented that social support does have some benefits for a lot of serious diseases, such as cancer, AIDS. It's also shown support and helps people through natural disasters, military combat, like soldiers and things like that, and even crowding. If people are crowded in a certain place together for, extended periods of time, like a dorm. I know when I was in college, living away from home, I struggled with homesickness, and a lot of other kids did as well, and, it might be something you struggle with, but a lot of times in dorms or colleges, they have support groups for that, so that you can get together and talk to other people who may be experiencing the same homesickness or things like that, and so that's something that they might do. Now, there appears to be 4 kinds of support from social support groups. The first is emotional. This is when somebody is listening to you, not just going yeah, 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 and eating their french fries. They're looking at you, they're listening to you, maybe they're taking notes, whatever. They're offering affection. They might, pat you on the back or give you a hug, shake your hand, whatever, and say, hey, it's going to be okay, we're here to support you. And they boost your self-esteem. They tell you, yes, you can do this. We know you can do this. And again, it doesn't have to be an outside group. It could be family, friends, teachers. It could be anybody. Appraisal. This is when that other group, the social support group, will give feedback to the person and say, okay, what can we do to help you? We understand this is what you're going through. Here's what we can do to try to help you deal with your stress. C, informational. And this is when the person dealing with the stress tries to understand what they've learned from other people and how they can approach their own stress. And then part D, instrumental. This could be in the form of positive measures, such as money. Maybe they have a living situation for someone to go to. Maybe it's medical help, things like that. Now, it is worth noting, though, that sometimes social support may not be as helpful, because in some cases, some people might not be supportive or understanding what that person might be going through. So that's worth noting. Most cases, this is a good thing, but it's also sometimes it doesn't always work out. Okay, so closure. So what factors are related to the influence of stress? Think about some of the things we talked about today. What plays into stress? And that will help you answer the question. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day or night. I'll talk to you soon.